Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Saya Profesor Madya Dr. Masila Hamzah dari Fakulti Komunikasi dan Pengajian Media atau lebih dikenali sebagai MESCOM. Kepada para pelajar dan warga Sekolah Menengah Sultan Salahuddin Abdul Aziz Shah, saya ucapkan selamat datang ke program SULAM. Program SULAM merupakan anjuran kali pertama Fakulti Komunikasi Pengajian Media dengan Sekolah Salahuddin Abdul Aziz Shah. Saya juga ingin mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada Guru Besar Sekolah SAAS Puan Johanna Mat Said bersama guru penolong kanan, guru-guru dan seluruh pelajar-pelajar Sekolah Menengah Sultan Salahuddin Abdul Aziz Shah. Terima kasih kerana sudi menerima kehadiran warga Fakulti Komunikasi Pengajian Media ke sekolah walaupun secara maya. Untuk pengetahuan semua, program SULAM ini membawa maksud Service Learning Malaysia University for Society. Adalah sebuah program yang menghakmilikkan menara gading kepada masyarakat untuk manfaat lebih menyeluruh selari dengan konsep universiti untuk masyarakat. Ia merupakan salah satu inisiatif terkini Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia yang menggabungkan objektif pembelajaran universiti dengan khidmat masyarakat. Hadirnya kami bersama pelajar-pelajar SAAS bertujuan berkongsi ilmu terhadap realiti yang dihadapi oleh generasi pelajar dalam era digital, iaitu buli cyber. Matlamat hari ini adalah untuk mendidik dan memberi kesedaran tentang buli cyber dan elemen-elemen yang penting demi kemaslahatan sejagat. Ia juga bertujuan meningkatkan kebersamaan dan kesaling hubungan antara komuniti sekolah dan universiti dalam usaha untuk mengembangkan idealisme, intelektualisme dan aktivisme. Bertemakan kempen kesedaran, kesopanan dan kesusilaan, buli cyber ini akan memfokuskan soal kesedaran kepada masyarakat tentang buli cyber, merangkumi hak, bantuan yang boleh dicapai, literasi akta, hak berkenaan buli cyber dan perkongsian dua hala antara pelajar dan masyarakat. Ini juga melibatkan langkah-langkah yang perlu diambil apabila seseorang itu terlibat dalam buli cyber. So, everyone can be a responsible and civil users of the internet. Not all heroes wear cape. You can be a hero by helping each other out to keep peace in cyberspace. Be a digital avenger and fight against cyberbullying. Akhir sekali, setinggi-tinggi penghargaan dan ucapan tahniah kepada pihak penganjur kerana telah berjaya melaksanakan program SULAM ini, dan syabas diucapkan kepada setiap individu dan tenaga kerja yang telah diketuai oleh Cik Eliza kerana telah memberikan sepenuh tenaga dalam mengusahakan dan menjayakan program SULAM. Saya berharap majlis ini dapat memberi intipati dan mencapai matlamat pembelajaran kepada semua pelajar yang terlibat. Sekian, terima kasih.
Hai, Assalamualaikum everyone. Nama saya Najmi dan saya merupakan pensyarah di Fakulti Komunikasi dan Pengajian Media dalam bidang perhubungan awam. What is MESCOM? MESCOM is one of the faculty in UITM ataupun nama penuhnya ialah Fakulti Komunikasi dan Pengajian Media atau lebih dikenali dengan UITM MESCOM. Apa program yang ditawarkan di dalam MESCOM? Yang pertama, kita ada program journalism. Yang kedua, kita ada perhubungan awam, public relations. The third one, we do have broadcasting, and then we do have advertising. And then yang kelima, kita ada publishing. Yang keenam, kita ada program Instructional Communication and Training. Dan yang ketujuh, kita ada Interpersonal Communication. Dan yang ke-8, Communication Management and Policy. And last but not least, we do have New Media Communication. Okay, so basically ke-9 program ini menawarkan kos yang memenuhi keperluan industri sekarang, iaitu di era globalisasi dan di era digital yang memerlukan individu yang berkemahiran tinggi dari segi untuk menguruskan komunikasi dan mewakili organisasi bagi memenuhi keperluan khalayak. Kerana di Masscom, subjek-subjek yang ditawarkan merupakan subjek yang amat terkini dan memenuhi segala kehendak dan juga keperluan industri. Masscom memang melahirkan graduan yang berpersonaliti, yang berkeyakinan tinggi supaya mereka ini dapat berkomunikasi dengan pihak di luar sana dan seterusnya menjadikan organisasi lebih mantap. Okey, Masscom mempunyai peluang pekerjaan yang sangat tinggi kerana industri di luar sana amat menantikan graduan Masscom untuk menjadi salah seorang pekerja mereka. Jadi saya amat yakin bahawasanya Masscom ini pilihan utama. Saya ingin mengajak semua untuk menyertai Masscom, untuk memohon berada di bawah Fakulti Komunikasi dan Pengajian Media dan bersama-sama kita menjadikan Masscom lebih hebat, lebih mantap. So, let's be a part of Masscom dan menjadilah pelajar Masscom yang mempunyai credibility yang tinggi, yang melihat kepada sesuatu inovasi dan menjadikan fakulti ini fakulti yang hebat di persada dunia. UITM Masscom, UITM di hatiku.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera kepada anak-anak se-ASEAN SMK Sultan Salahuddin Abdul Aziz Shah yang saya rindui dan sayangi sekalian. Apa khabar? Diharapkan anda semua dalam keadaan bertenaga dan bersemangat, juga sihat. Yang ingin cikgu sampaikan pada pagi ini adalah berkaitan dengan bully cyber. Tentu anda semua pernah mendengarnya atau tanpa anda sedari, anda pernah mengalaminya. Namun apakah sebenarnya bully cyber ini? Pernahkah anda dibuli atau membuli secara cyber? Bully cyber adalah perbuatan mengancam, memalukan dan menakutkan seseorang melalui medium elektronik seperti pesanan mesej, chatting, email, laman web sosial, telefon bimbit dan permainan internet. Cikgu pasti anda sangat mahir dengan sebahagian daripada perkara yang telah cikgu senaraikan tadi. Jadi untuk memahami cyberbully ini, cikgu mewakili sekolah ini mengambil keputusan untuk bekerjasama dengan Fakulti Komunikasi dan Pengajian Media UITM yang tak jauh daripada sekolah kita ini untuk mendedahkan anda, anak-anak saya, dengan pelbagai maklumat berkaitan bully cyber dan apakah tindakan yang boleh kita ambil sekiranya ia berlaku kepada diri kita. Semoga program ini memberi manfaat kepada anak-anak sekalian dan saya doakan anda bersedia, bertenaga, bersemangat untuk mengikuti program ini dari mula hingga akhir. Akhir kata dari saya, kita adiwira cyber, be digital avengers, fight against cyberbully. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Enough! I just want to disappear. I want it to stop. Please make it stop.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. My name is Ahmad bin Shari and I'll be the host for today's webinar. First of all, we would like to thank the teachers and students at SNK Start Section 2 for giving us this opportunity to host this program and also for taking the time off the weekend to be a part of this program. For today's webinar, our target is to spread awareness regarding cyberbullying that has been going rampant in Malaysia, especially in this time of the pandemic. Cyberbullying can come in many forms, some of which we have never heard of. Sometimes, people don't even know that even their close friends are a part of this problem. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
The purpose of this seminar is to raise awareness on cyberbullying, which has been growing rampant throughout the years, as Malaysia has been ranked the third country in Asia in cyberbullying cases. Cyberbullying is an action that takes place over digital media such as mobile phones, computers, and tablets. Cyberbullying has more than one meaning. It can be defined as whether the internet, mobile phones, or other devices are used to send or share text or photos designed to injure or shame another person, or as a scenario when a child or adolescent is regularly tormented, intimidated, harassed, mocked, ashamed, or otherwise targeted by another child or youth using text messaging. A cyberbullying case can be as simple as sending emails to someone who doesn't want to have any more interaction with you, but it can also be very serious where it involves threats or sexual assault, or when a website is set up and a person is mocked. Cyberbullies can post personal details of their victims on websites or forums, or even claim to be someone else to publish different content in the name of the victim that diminishes or humiliates them. The biggest percentage of the bully use pretty much the same tactic as they send threatening messages to their victims or call them mean names. The most common places where cyberbullying occurs are social media such as Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, text messaging and messaging apps on mobile or tablet devices, instant messaging, direct messaging, and online chatting over the internet, online forums, chat rooms, and message board, email, online gaming communities.
There are 6 forms of cyberbullying. The first type of cyberbullying is known as flaming. This type of online bullying involves posting or insulting and using profanity directly to the target. Flaming is similar to trolling, but will usually be a more direct attack on the victim to incite them in online fights. It happens through the social media comment section, private messages, or even in chat rooms, where the exchange of negative and abusive words often will occur. The next one is harassment. 40% of internet users have experienced online harassment. What is online harassment? According to PAN America, it can be defined as a pervasive or severe targeting of an individual or online group, which implies harmful behavior. Harassment is a broad category in which many types of cyberbullying come in, but generally refer to a sustained and persistent pattern of hurtful or threatening online messages intended to harm a person. For instance, a person can repeatedly send threats and nasty messages to someone online while staying anonymous. Study also states that men and women have different experience when it comes to online harassment. For example, women are more likely to have experienced more severe harassment, such as stalking and sexual harassment compared to men.
Impersonation works a few different ways. A cyberbully can use a false identity, for example on Facebook, to torment their victim, thus covering their own tracks. Or the cyberbully can impersonate someone their victims know, perhaps to damage relationship or withhold information out of their victim. Or the cyberbully can impersonate their victim in order to ruin a reputation.
Another form of cyberbullying is exclusion. It is the act of intentionally singling out and leaving a person out from an online group, such as chats and sites. The group then subsequently leave malicious comments and harass the one they single out. People will find it easier for them to bully and isolate someone online since they do not need to face them face to face to do such things, so that they will never feel guilty whatsoever. That is why by leaving a person out from an online group and ditch the victim by ignoring them, it's much easier to do it. The victim will probably be left out and do not have any friends to talk with because of the exclusion.
Next, denigration is to criticize in a derogatory manner, to treat someone or something as if it is worth nothing, sending texts to damage one's self-esteem. Act of spreading rumors, also blackmailing and threatening one, could be for benefit or just to be a mean person. By criticizing people online, it will only give the victim pressure and some effects on their mental health too. People who get this type of cyberbullying most likely will feel insecure about themselves, and sooner or later they will get depressed or social anxiety.
Finally, yet importantly, cyberstalking. It involves following a person across social media and other internet accounts, frequently sending harassing or aggressive message. The cyberbully will make their victim fear for their safety. The cyberbully may not even know their victim offline, but just because of they like that particular person, they will do anything to search for the victim information by keep on stalking them to gather the information. It is very scary, and the victim's safety also will be in danger.
Hey, welcome back! So now, we're going to watch an interview conducted by one of our members with people you might heard of on the internet. Unfortunately, they were also a victim of cyberbullying. So, let's watch the interview together and see what they have to say.
Alright, so hello everybody, thank you for having me. It is such a honor for me to be invited to this SULAM project. So nice to meet you all, even if it is online. So I hope everyone is doing fine right now. So as introduced, my name is Viviana Mosibin. I'm 19 years old and now I'm currently studying marine science program in UMS also. So actually I'm a full-time degree student, but I also create content on YouTube, or what we call as YouTuber. So I'm still working hard to reach my goal and dream as a student, because yes, my journey is just already started. I'm still young and have a lot more to learn from life, yes, in order to gain success.
Well, my name is Aidil Iman bin Aidit. I am 21 years old this year. I recently just finished my diploma in mass communications at Segi University. I would pretty much say that what I do is advocate for environmental justice and climate action in Malaysia. I'm a part of a movement called My Hutan, which is powered by Undi 18. Our focus is to raise awareness and ensure sustainable financing for forest conservation in Malaysia.
I was cyberbullied when my video went viral. So it started to become more distinct and frequent around the time that the MP claimed that I was taking advantage of the sympathy and empathy of the people for views. So through these claims, people started to attack and target me through my YouTube video, saying that I was a liar, saying that I am taking advantage of the people and I only care about money, and that I always had a stable internet connection. So sometimes they would comment on my looks, saying I was ugly, and I get people saying that don't trust her anymore and stuff like that. So that is the time that I realized that I was one of the victims of cyberbullying. Actually, it is not a happy memory, but a memorable one for sure.
Well, I think I was cyberbullied when I first started rigorously using social media, particularly Twitter. I started being cyberbullied by these anonymous accounts or these people that I did not know from social media. The most recent would be this year. I've had faced a few targeted harassment issues from Twitter itself. I think the latest was last month. Yeah.
Sure. All right. So, well, like all normal teenagers, I felt very sad and hurt because I started to realize that a few people are so quick to judge, and the people that I used to trust can stab me in the back very quickly when given the chance to do so. So I started to privatize my video and avoid opening Facebook and Instagram, and of course I felt embarrassed, not just me but my family. So I started to overthink and become worried, thinking that all people, including my friends and lecturers, will hate me or going to hate me, right? So I overthink. So yeah, that is my experience on how I felt when I take online. Yes.
A lot of the experience that are faced by younger generations is always like being consumed by anxiety, self-esteem issues, being afraid, being sort of like, having no clue of what to do during that situation. My experience was very, very negative, and I take it very negatively. I did not cope well with these cases and these situations because I think it has something to do with age as well, because I'm only 21 years old. So I've not developed a stronger shield against cyberbullying or harassment. So I take it very personally, and my experience from these situations have always affected my mental health. It has always led me to relapsing.
I'm a type of person that like to read article, and I like new information. One of the few tips by William Alsted that helped me overcome these negative responses. So I try to get everything out of my head. Yes, I mean, I should not overthink. I ask myself, what is the worst that can possibly happen after the negative responses from the netizen? And so I learned to accept it. I'm very grateful because I was born in a family that is strong. Yes, that is strong and full of support. So it constantly reminding myself that worrying about this is not going to prevent it. So I let go of everything.
I think it's important that we have coping mechanisms. I have two coping mechanisms, which is reading and volunteering. One is more indoors and one is outdoor. I think the concept of volunteering is that you help people, and when you help people, you also help yourself because it builds confidence, it builds self-esteem.
All right. So mentally we were very embarrassed. So my family were also angry at certain people around the village that spread this false information. So I myself was mentally tired. Physically, neither me or my family was affected. Yes, we are not affected physically, just mentally. But whatever happened, we must always think positive. Yes, think positive that this situation will akan bertambah baik selepas ini. Will get better soon. Yes.
A bit depressed, and I do get anxious after I was cyberbullied. So so definitely a sense of anxiety if we're talking about mental health. There's that. When it comes to my family, I have to say that these things, because of my situation, I don't talk to them as much, but when I do, my family do give some advices on how I can persevere, and they're very supportive of that. But mainly what I do is try to handle it by myself, which is not really a good thing to do. But I think these are lived realities of so many young Malaysians, because you don't know who to talk to when you're being bullied, or when you're being harassed. Sometimes you feel all alone, and you feel like even to your friends and your families, you can't speak up about them. I've definitely had to face these cases.
Okay, so I learned that if we don't know a person, we should not trust them fully. I also learned that a lot of people in social media acts in assuming motivation fallacy. This is what I learned in my philosophy class in university. So many of the criticism that we love at each other on social media are based on assumptions about their intentions. So we think that because they act in a certain way, they must be motivated by negative or deceitful mention, but that is not always the case, actually. So I also learned that we should be nice to one another and do not be so quick to judge in any kind of situation.
I think the experience is resource. Resource meaning that I did not know about these organizations. I did not know that, the mental health facilities, the services that we have in Malaysia are very accessible. If you go to places like Klinik Kesihatan, you could do a Minda Sihat test and get help at a very, very affordable price. If you're feeling that this is affecting you mentally, you should seek out professional help. Friends are supportive, families are supportive, but then again, you want a perspective that is professional from the mental health background.
All I can say is that please do not dwell and overthink on what people say about you. Always move forward and never overthink. So yes, my advice to the general public is that we must always fact check every information. Everything in social media, we need to check it, double check, right? To avoid any sort of unnecessary arguments which could lead to cyberbullying, just like what happened to me for the last few months. So I believe that if we showered ourselves with knowledge and education, I believe that we can overcome these cyberbullying tactics.
Solidarity is important. If you are seeing someone being discriminated, or they are being bullied, or they are being harassed, I think it's important that we step up to speak for them, and speak against the abusers and the bullies. I think that aren't necessarily the one who are committing those evil acts. Is actually those who watch those things happen but do nothing. The third one is how you can find support systems. Sometimes we have to acknowledge that families can be quite toxic and overwhelming and not very supportive. These are, of course, lived realities and struggles of so many Malaysians. So I think you have to find friends who can listen to you. You have to find people or adults that can trust you, and you can trust them as well. I think in schools and universities, it's important that we talk to our counselors, to our lecturers, to our friends and classmates about these things if we are facing a struggle where we feel like our own family isn't being supportive. So I think those are the advices that I would give.
Thank you very much to our interviewees for sharing their experiences. I hope that everyone who watched the video can learn a thing or two. Remember, for those who are experiencing cyberbullying, you are not alone. There is always other people who are willing to lend you a hand. Share your problems with the one you trust, especially your friends and family and teachers. Remember, think before you type. Moving on, as seen from the interview conducted, it is vital to note that no one is exempted from cyberbullying, no matter what status they hold in society. However, we were able to overcome this issue of cyberbullying by educating ourselves and the society we live in, which can be done through various preventive measures. Let's take a look at this video that can explain more about this issue on a deeper level.
According to a study from the Pew Research Center, 95% of teens are connected to the internet, of which 85% are social media users. As a majority of teens have access to the internet, they are increasingly susceptible to online attacks such as cyberbullying. How do we prevent this? One of the preventive measures that can be taken to combat cyberbullying is by educating ourselves. As users of the internet, we should always strive to increase our knowledge of internet safety strategies and learn the right manners to use digital technology and cyberspace. Receiving threats or harmful messages from someone online? It can help if you secure your social media account. Has a persistent troll been posting bad stuff on your page and raining on your parade? Block the people who are sending you hate comments. The block button is there for a reason. When you see their provocative comments on social media, the best thing to do is probably ignore them. Never feed the trolls. If you are the victim of hate speech or online shaming, it might be better to mute the account that is provoking the harm, and when you recognize a troll, immediately block and report it. Likewise, if it happens to someone you know, tell them to do the same, and then always report the profile yourself too. Sometimes, we worry that our parents are often meddling in our business and try to hide things from them. We all are guilty of doing this, but to what degree that it becomes important for parents to set a foot in? Sometimes, parental involvement is important, as monitoring a child's online activities can help them understand the signs of someone who is bullying a victim and prevent things from escalating. Another thing to take note of is to never share embarrassing stuff online, even if you are sharing them to your trusted friends. Sometimes, things like embarrassing photos taken during a candid moment can backfire on you if they fall into the wrong hands. It's always important to remember to not trust people easily, especially on the internet. Someone you trust now may not be as trustworthy in the future. Always be careful with your personal photos. As social media users, we need to think before posting anything on social media, before disclosing personal information like photos or maybe even agreeing to meet in person with someone we met online. We need to double think what we post on the internet. Remember, everything we do and say, it will make a way into wider world because social media is a public space. You know that all social media have clear policies and reporting processes. When something happens, you need to report the aggressor. If you have been cyberbullied, you can contact social media platforms to report offensive content and have it removed. But if things get serious, you need to report it to the police.
I wonder, have you ever stopped and thought about what you wanted to type out? Have you ever stopped to thought that your words can harm someone else? Do you even know what happens to the victims of cyberbullying? Everything in life, there's always a positive or negative effect. So remember, always think before you type.
You need to be aware with everything that you are saying on social media. The victim will face an emotional and psychological distress. Let's discuss these effects. May lead victims to emotional and psychological distress, like being powerless, lacking the authority and capacity to stand for themselves. Victims often find it impossible to defend themselves and feel safe again.
I can't do anything. I just need to bear with it.
Being humiliated. As online bullying feels permanent, kids know that once something is out there, it will always be out there, and this makes them feel exposed.
They don't like my hair. And they think I'm fat. I need to go 45 kilo this time. I need to make some changes about myself.
Feeling worthless. Targets of bullying may feel intense dissatisfaction with who they are. As a result of cyberbullying, targets often begin to doubt their worth and value.
I need to be better. I should not post that picture. I don't want to be seen online.
Feeling depressed. Victims of cyberbullying may face far more anxiety, depression, and other stress-related conditions. Cyberbullying can take their self-confidence and self-esteem away.
I don't feel like doing anything today. I don't know how to... Never mind, thanks for the talk.
Show suicidal tendencies. Cyberbullying increases the risk of suicide. This is because they want to end their pain through suicide, and as a result, They may fantasize about ending their life in order to escape their tormentors.
Enough! I just want to disappear. I want it to stop. Please make it stop.
Before we end today's webinar, we have prepared a quiz for you. And most importantly, we have prizes. So, what we want you to do is go to Kahoot, fill in your name, your full name please, and click the link below. Thank you very much, and bye-bye!